Hi, I'm Jeff. Welcome to this series of videos where I go through the restoration of the light seals, etc. on a Konica C35 automatic rangefinder camera. Before we get started on that, a little bit about me. I'm a photographer. I've been doing this about 5 years, mostly as a hobby, but I've been getting paid a little bit here and there. Initially, my interest in photography was piqued when I bought a Zenit E SLR in 1982 and took a lot of photographs with it, none of which unfortunately remain. It's a lovely little camera which I eventually broke. It's very popular. I think somewhere in the region of 8 million units were made in the production run, which is 22 years long, I beg your pardon, from 65 to 86. I bought mine second hand, so I have no idea how old it was at the time, but it seemed to work, and I enjoyed looking at the world through a lens. Yeah, that really piqued my interest, trying to record what was going on, and that's something that's kind of stayed with me, although there was a big gap between that and buying my next camera, which was a digital Panasonic Lumix, the MC FZ20, had a 5 megapixel sensor on it, but the thing that did it for me was the fact that it had a Leica lens and a 12 times digital zoom, which gave it an equivalent focal length of 28 to 432, which was astonishing. I had that in about 2004. That's when I bought that, when it was just after it was released, and so that stuck with me for a while. I gave it to my eldest child a few years ago, and there was a bit of a gap there, but I had a couple of decent phone cameras, the Pixel, Google Pixel, one of the Panasonics, LG did a good camera phone as well, and I've got quite a few photos from all of those dotted around, but then I was given a Canon 750D crop sensor with a kit lens, and I bought an EFS 10 to 18 millimeter zoom, wide angle zoom, because I wanted to take pictures of buildings, architectural photography, interland external, but external to begin with. And I went to a few places. I think I went to Amsterdam, London a few times, got some nice stuff. Recognised that I might need a full frame, so I bought a 6D body and a Canon 28 to 104 millimeter L lens, the colours of which, the combination of the 6D and the lens, some beautiful colour photography, but it kind of struggled in low light situations, and that's kind of a problem if you're going to do architecture, cityscapes at night. You need something quite responsive. The 750D wasn't up to it either, so what I did was I traded some of that in and bought my first mirrorless, which is a Canon EOS R. Now the low light on that photography on that is something to be seen. I use it with an adapter, a sort of Tamar, an EF20 to 300mm. I've got a 24mm TSE, it's a tilt shift lens, again by Canon, to correct some of the distortions you get from photographing from the ground up in camera rather than doing it in post. So I find that's not really a satisfactory solution for me. But I've kind of found that I'm enjoying street photography more now, so I use an EF 50mm, again via an adapter, and I've got an RF 16mm wide angle, which is quite interesting for walking around as well, because you have to get really close to your subjects to be able to do anything with that. And so I'm finding what's happening is that the things that I'm photographing, the subjects are morphing and becoming more animated. But architectural is still my first love, and I'll still go out of my way to find a good building, particularly a brutalist one, to take some good pictures of. But we're here to restore a Canon, I beg your pardon, we're here to restore the Konica rangefinder, which was given to me by a friend of mine who thought that I might pass it on to my youngest child, who wanted an analog camera for a birthday. I've already sorted that. She's getting an OM10. But when I opened the Konica, I noticed, oh, it's a lovely little camera. I noticed that there was something wrong with it. So I'll just switch scenes, and I'll give you a little taste of what's wrong. So here's the Konica. Looks to be in pretty good nick on the outside. Bit of a dent there. The lens cap off. Lens seems to be all right, and you know, rangefinder is there. But when you open the back, you can see here there's some encrustation of something. Now it turns out it's actually a bit more visible near the hinge. You can see both internal and there's residue. Now that it looks like that's the foam seals that have degraded, so this means that this isn't light proof anymore. Also, there's a hole for a battery there, and I have taken it out, and the battery is as dead as a dodo. But as you can see, it's a lovely little camera. It's tiny, well, in my hands anyway. But so I looked at it and I thought, okay, let's see what this is about. So the next few videos are going to be about what this camera has done in the past, where it is now, how we're going to fix it, and what it's going to do in the future. Thank you ever so much for watching, and please, I'm looking forward to getting on and getting on with the restoration of that. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.